While we're coming, people were waving all over town. I thought it was a joke. Until I can hear all the resounding voice of the people of Kogi here, and you've spoken clearly. Your Excellency, I have the feeling that even in homes, when women are pounding yam, you will hear them saying, Usman, Ododo, Usman, Ododo. Your Excellency, you've done very well. Having said that, I want to call His Excellency, the President of Nigeria, here represented by the Vice President, to give his speech and welcome all the Decampees back to the home of the progressive. Your Excellency.
APC, Tinubu, 4+4. 4+4. Tinubu, 4+4. 4+4. Tinubu, 4+4. 4+4. Tinubu. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo, Your Excellency, the National Chairman of our great party, Your Excellency, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Your Excellency, the White Lion, GYB, our distinguished members of the National Assembly, most especially our two senators from Kogi State, Senator Sunday Karimi and Senator Isa Jibrin, and the members of the House of Reps. Our gathering here in Lokoja, where two of our most famous rivers meet to become one powerful force. Lokoja has always offered as a perfect metaphor for what is unfolding before our eyes today. We are gathered to celebrate the complaints of progressives. We are gathered to welcome men and women who have chosen unity over suspicion and stability over the politics of perpetual conflict. What we are witnessing is a triumph of reason and the reaffirmation of a shared national purpose. And I am honored to share in the joy of this day. At the heart of this moment stands His Excellency Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo. His calm strength has become the anchor of this state. In a political climate where storms are expected, he has offered tranquility. He has chosen the harder but nobler path of continuity. He has chosen respect for history, loyalty to purpose, and commitment to the people above all. This harmony will not be possible without his predecessor, His Excellency former Governor Yahaya Bello. Leadership is tested not only by how one governs but also by how one hands over. In Kogi State, the transition from one administration to the next stands today as a reassuring example for the entire country. The joy of every democracy is the genuine cooperation between a predecessor and a successor. It is a relationship that must be built on patience and trust, and Kogi has shown that this is possible even when it is most difficult. It is within this atmosphere of stability that we welcome a new chapter in the political life of Kogi State. Today, at this formal reception, His Excellency former Governor Idris Wada joins the All Progressive Congress along with other distinguished leaders and supporters. This decision is not a small one. It is an alignment with a broader national vision. It is a recognition that Nigeria needs large and stable platforms to confront the challenge before us. Your Excellency Governor Idris Wada, as we welcome you and other distinguished Nigerians to the APC, I must share that we receive you as an elder, as a statesman, and as a partner in the task of building a stronger Kogi and a stronger Nigeria. This moment, don Allah ku yi hakuri mana, ku yi hakuri mana, ku yi hakuri mana, ku yi hakuri mana. Listen, why are you doing? What is this? It's talking. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this moment also reflects the leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCR. He promised to build a political home that brings together progressive minds from across the country. He promised to make the APC a political party where competence is valued and where inclusion is not an empty phrase. He promised to make the APC a confluence of progressives. Today that promise is unfolding before our eyes. His leadership has inspired faith. His commitment to national unity has restored confidence in the political process. Nigerians from across the divides are choosing to work with him because they see sincerity and depth in his vision. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what is happening in Kogi today is not the collapse of one structure into another. It is not a victory of one ego over another. What we are witnessing is a margin of convictions. It is a recognition that Nigeria requires a broad coalition of patriots who are looking beyond all quarrels and embrace a collective future. The APC remains the home of all who seek progress. We must rise above bitterness and forge a new national spirit. To our new members, I say welcome. You have joined a family that thrives on service. You have joined a platform that values your experience. We shall deepen peace in Kogi State. We shall expand development in Kogi State. We shall uphold the promise of a renewed Nigeria. Because you have shown that when leaders choose peace, the people reap progress. The APC does not take your trust for granted. May God bless Kogi State. May God bless the All Progressives Congress. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. May we have the national anthem, please? Thank you. National anthem.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
Majority Leader of
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment is here. The arrival of His Excellencies. It is happening live and direct at the Muhammad Buhari Square, where we receive the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, on this day of decamping ceremony that we welcome the former governor of Kogi State, Captain Idris Chalawada, into the APC family. Your Excellency, Senator Kashim Shettima, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and His Excellency
Ahmad Usman LC. Commander Jerry Omodora, retired, the State Security Advisor. We welcome you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, His Excellency, the Chief Servant of Kogi State,
Muhammadu Didaduzigi, Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs of our state. Right Honorable Sani Egidi Ibrahim, and of course the Chairman of our great party. And let's welcome the man of the moment, His Excellency Alhaji Kashim Shettima, DCON, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Excellency, you're welcome, sir. Thank you.
And here he comes gallantly in company of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, our Chief Servant. With this cheering crowd, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, also not forgetting that the Chairman of the APC in Kogi State, Alhaji Abdullahi Bello. Now, welcome Your Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Welcome to Kogi once again. Welcome to the decamping ceremony once again. Welcome to the reception of people. And His Excellency, our own Governor GYB. Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, can you see it? I will not forget to mention very quickly that the former governor, Yahya Doza Bello, also with us here, happily, joyously, we received the Vice President.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. May we please have the national anthem quickly. National anthem.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Your triumphs are made different, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians home and proud to serve.
Thank you. Oh God of all creation, grant these our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Amen.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Alhaji Bola Ahmad Tinubu, GCFR, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by His Excellency Alhaji Kashim Shettima, GCON, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Professor Nentawe Goshwe Yilwadda, Your Excellency Alhaji Ahmad Usman Ododo, FCA, the Chief Servant of Kogi State, the Deputy Speaker, of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, and other members of the National Assembly, both senators and members of the House of Reps. Your Excellency Hajia Safinat Ahmad Usman Ododo, First Lady of Kogi State, Your Excellency Comrade Joel Salifo Ibo, Deputy Governor of Kogi State, Your Excellency Mrs. Margaret Joel Salifu, wife of the Deputy Governor of Kogi State, Your Excellency, the man of the moment, Captain Idris Wada, former Governor of Kogi State, Your Excellency, Alhaji Yahya Bello, CON, our distinguished leader and immediate past Governor of Kogi State, Your Excellency Akitayomi Awoni, former Deputy Governor of Kogi State, and other former Deputy Governors here, Your Excellency Alhaji Halima Ladi Wada, former First Lady of Kogi State, the Speaker of Kogi State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Umar Ali Yusuf, FCNA, Principal Officers, and other members of Kogi State House of Assembly here present. The Chairman, the Honorable Minister for Steel Development, Prince Shaibu Abubakar Audu, and other serving and former ministers here. The Chairman of APC Kogi State, Dr. Abdullahi Bello, and members of the State Working Committee of our party. The Secretary to the Government of Kogi State, the Head of Service, Honorable Barrister Halima Al-Fagaya, and other women leaders of our party here, the Deputy Chief of Staff, the State Security Advisor, the Accountant General of our state, the Auditor General, Honorable Commissioner for Local Government and other commissioners, the Auditor General for Local Governments, Honorable Special Advisors, the Executive Chairman of our local governments, leaders and members of the organized labor in Kogi State, heads of boss commissions, parastatals and extra ministerial departments here present, distinguished defectors from other political parties, leaders of JNI and CAN, captains of industries and opinion molders, elders, women and the youth, other invited guests, members of the fourth estate of the realm, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, at this point, permit me to hand over to the national chairman of the party. Thank you.
You bring down the protocol.
APC! APC! We're here, I will be very brief. This occasion is to bring back one of the mentors, one of the strategists, the former governor of Kogi State, Captain Idris Wada, back to APC. Without wasting time, I'll call the governor, the executive governor of Kogi State, Excellency, His Excellency, Alhaji Usman Ododo, to welcome us to the ceremony.
His Excellency, our own father, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, the National Chairman of our great party, Professor Nantawe Yelwata, and members of the National Working Committee here present, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, and every other National Assembly members that are here present. Because of want of time, I recognize all our
leaders, the former governors, the former House of Rep members, former senators, and of course, the women leaders. Let me use all our stakeholders and critical stakeholders as a point of contact because of want of time. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are here again, not only to receive and welcome the Decamping to the progressive family, but to once again express our gratitude and appreciation to Mr. President for his leadership and commitment to the unity, peace, and prosperity of our dear nation, particularly Kogi State. We are here again to appreciate our leaders and every other critical stakeholders of our dear state who laid the foundation for us to continue with their good job. We are here again to appreciate all our progressive-minded leaders who also appreciate and support good governance and have resolved to join us today to ensure that we jointly serve our people and to move Kogi State forward. They have come to add more value because they are men of integrity, they are men of character, they are men that is ready to serve his people. And as such, we are welcoming you and we are behind you. Today, we are here and to let you know that what is happening today and with the coming of our leader, His Excellency Captain Idris Wada, Honorable Samuel Abadami, Right Honorable Imam Alpha, Alhaji Ahmed Sani, Honorable Riyadania, Alhaji Usman Mama Pele, Malam and Honorable Emmanuel Omebije, Alhaji Hassan Bewa, Moses Ododo, Honorable Abdurrahman Unuka Uchela, Honorable Victor Uchela. The list is endless. I cannot measure. And their members, they are here in our great party today. And let me tell you, their coming has shown that in Kogi State, opposition has been crushed to the ground.
Kogi done better.
They are here. Let me tell you, sir, in APC, we have no newcomer. There is nothing like newcomer. We are all a big and united family. If anyone was in doubt before about the strength of APC in Kogi State, today's event has cleared those doubts that Kogi is APC and APC is Kogi State. Let me also express my gratitude to all of you, my good people of Kogi State, and my leaders who supported me in my aspiration to pilot the affairs of Kogi State. I thank you all most sincerely, all our leaders. I thank our President, His Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the Vice President, Senator Kasim Shettima GCON, for your support at all times. Within 2 years of our administration, Mr. President is here for the third time, and I believe that you will not be tired of our invitations because we are doing a lot. Let me appreciate the national chairman of our great party and the NWC members for their tireless support at strengthening our party. Under Mr. President and the national chairman, our party is becoming a party of ideology that was envisioned from the beginning. It is not about winning election again. It is about unfolding our agenda to make Nigeria a true giant. Without noise, the national chairman is collapsing opposition by amplifying the achievement of our government at all levels. Nigerians now see the APC as a movement for development. We are here to let people know that our assignment is to serve sincerely and make available dividend of democracy to our people and not noise making. When you are working, you don't talk. We are working and we are busy.
Those talking are not working. It is their job. It is their job to make noise. It is our job to serve our people and impact the life of our people. When they are making noise, please tell them that we are busy serving our people. On project, we are 90% completion in defense of our tertiary institution. Today, across the 21 local government, 239 wards, we are making impact. We are constructing internal roads, township roads, primary health care center, and of course, today, in the history of our state, of the Kogi State of the house is completed. Kogi State Treasury House is 85% complete. My brothers, I have no time because time is of it's not on our side. Let me tell you, this is not voice notes. It is real. Okay, Enugu to Aloko Road in the Kina local government. We are working there. Bakada Bejikolo in Nomaya local government, we are there. Ida Township Road, Odeni Oguma Sheria Road, with 3 span of bridge, we are there. Olubojo, Ojoba Abojo Road, we are there. Odu, Oboyega, and Ayamba to Agala Road, we are there. Ebe Township Road, we are there. Omala Township Road, we are there. Mopamoro Township Road, we are there. My good people of Kogi State, just last week, we have commissioned over 80 primary health care centers. This is not audio. Go and confirm. Our airport, I was told, I am reading on social media that it is a voice-mail airport. For our airport, the design has been completed, and very soon, procurement process will commence. Our free trade zone, Mr. President, the president of our nation, our leader, has just granted approval and declaration of our free trade zone. Investors are already online to collaborate with us to unlock our potential as the pathway to our nation's prosperity. We are intentional and very strategic in positioning our state for national reckoning. Palliative, every quarter, we give palliative to households, irrespective of your party, irrespective of your religion, irrespective of your language. We don't care. Civil servants, their welfare, we are there. So, you may not understand why I am always commending Mr. President. He is a father. He has taken me as a son. He has shown me the way to serve my people. His policies have provided more resources for me to perform. He is doing everything to bring back the Jakarta Steel Company. Let me break it down for you. If Jakarta starts working today, thousands of Kogites will be employed. Building materials will be cheaper. We will be able to produce military hardware to combat insecurity. Nigeria will be great again. He is a president for a time like this. Our president remains the best decision Nigerians have made. With all of this, I would rather remain silent to deliver on our promises to my people than to join noisemakers who are only after their selfish interests and doesn't mean well for our people. Today, I am here before you as your chief servant with my full senses and of sound mind and not under any illusion, talking to you as your servant. So, please, my good people, don't never be distracted. I can never be distracted because I have a mission to unite our people, a mission to develop our state, a mission to provide security for my people, a mission to provide quality education for our children, a mission to fight poverty, a mission to fight drug against abuse, a mission to harness the potential of our state for greatness, a mission to support the New Hope agenda of Mr. President for the full benefit of our people, a mission to provide good quality healthcare service to our people, a mission to turn our tourist potential to greatness, a mission to link our community to market, a mission to provide food for our people and Nigerians, a mission to provide potable water for my people, a mission to unite our state and create a state where everyone sees every other person as a Kogite without division, a mission to make Kogi great. Together, we can and we will achieve our mission. From economic reform to national cohesion, Mr. President has helped to bail the nation out of total collapse. It was tough, but today we are reaping the benefit. Great leaders take decisions. He has no opposition come 2027 as far as Kogi State is concerned. Look, those pretending to be antagonizing him know that Mr. President will win election hands down. Nigerians are solidly behind him. In Kogi State, we do not need him here to come and campaign. We will deliver not less than 98% to Mr. President. You see, this is our president, Nababao. You see, this is our president, Nababao. He's a true father. He's a true father. Very committed, very ready to serve Nigeria. On your mandate, we shall stand. On your mandate, we shall stand. Bala on your mandate. Bala on your mandate. Bala on your mandate. We shall stand. Attack you, attack you, attack you.
Kogi done better. Better.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Usman Ododo. Everything seems to say Ododo, 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 Ododo. 4 plus 4, 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 Tinubu. 4 plus 4, Tinubu. 4 plus 4, Tinubu. 4 plus 4, Tinubu. Today, we are here on a rescue mission. Today, we are here to rescue people from PDP. We are here because the sinking ship. We are giving life jacket to people to come out of the sinking ship. We are here to give a platform, to give a life jacket inside the ocean for people who are stranded inside the ocean in that ship called PDP. Your Excellency, I am pleased to present to you the former governor of Kogi State, His Excellency, Captain Idris Wada, who is moving from the sinking ship to become a progressive. I also have Chief Sam Banchi Adereni. I also have Chief Sam Adereni. We have Right Honorable Imam Alpha. I have Honorable Idou Ibikunle. And we have Chief Bode Ogunmola. And then Honorable Sunday Daku. I want to welcome you to the family of the progressive. I want to thank you for taking a wise choice. This is one of the wisest choices you've ever made in your political history, political life. You are welcome to the family. I also hand over to you. Rooms. Your Excellency, sweep every other PDP people that are still hiding in that sinking ship back to APC. Right Honorable. I therefore present you to His Excellency, the President of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, here represented by His Excellency, the Vice President. And I'll hand over the microphone to His Excellency, Captain Wada, to speak briefly on behalf of all the defectors.
APC! 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 Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, Your Excellency, the National Chairman of our dear party, Nantawe Itilda, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, Chief Servant Usman Ododo, Your Excellency, the former Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahya Bello, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Rep, our Deputy Governor, my former Deputy Governor, Senators, members of House of Rep, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I thank you all for gathering here today on the occasion of our crossing over from PDP to APC. The reasons for crossing over are numerous, but there is no time for me to explain them to you. You know them already. APC is a progressive party. It's leading Nigeria in the right direction. Mr. President made a very bold decision in removing fuel subsidy. Initially, we all felt all kinds of pains, but now fuel price is dropping almost every month. Fuel prices are coming down almost every month. The exchange rate, which the President unified, has stabilized our currency, and now the Naira is appreciating on a regular basis in the foreign exchange market. These and many other infrastructure facilities all over the state, all over the country, give us testimony that the APC government means well for Nigeria and is leading Nigeria in the correct direction. So on behalf of all the Decampings, I thank you for welcoming us. We assure you that we'll melt in.
Excellency, thank you so very much. I can hear everybody shouting, 4+4, Ododo. 4+4, Tinubu. 4+4, Tinubu. While we're coming, people were waving all over town. I thought it was a joke. Until I can hear all the resounding voice of the people of Kogi here, and you've spoken clearly. Your Excellency, I have the feeling that even in homes, when women are pounding yam, you will hear them saying, Usman, Ododo, Usman, Ododo. Your Excellency, you've done very well. Having said that, I want to call His Excellency, the President of Nigeria, here represented by the Vice President, to give his speech and welcome all the Decampees back to the home of the progressive. Your Excellency.
APC. APC.
Tinubu.
4 plus 4. 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 Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo, Your Excellency, the National Chairman of our great party, Your Excellency, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Your Excellency, the White Lion, GYB, GYB, GYB. Our distinguished members of the National Assembly, most especially our two senators from Kogi State, Senator Sunday Karimi and Senator Isa Jibrin, and the members of the House of Reps, are gathering here in Lokoja. Lokoja, where two of our most famous rivers meet to become one powerful force. Lokoja has always offered as a perfect metaphor for what is unfolding before our eyes today. We are gathered to celebrate the confluence of progressives. We are gathered to welcome men and women who have chosen unity over suspicion and stability over the politics of perpetual conflict. What we are witnessing is a triumph of reason and the reaffirmation of a shared national purpose. And I am honored to share in the joy of this day. At the heart of this moment stands His Excellency Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo. His calm strength has become the anchor of this state. In a political climate where storms are expected, he has offered tranquility. He has chosen the harder but nobler path of continuity. He has chosen respect for history, loyalty to purpose, and commitment to the people above all. This harmony will not be possible without his predecessor, His Excellency former Governor Yahaya Bello. Leadership is tested not only by how one governs but also by how one hands over. In Kogi State, the transition from one administration to the next stands today as a reassuring example for the entire country. The joy of every democracy is the genuine cooperation between a predecessor and a successor. It is a relationship that must be built on patience and trust, and Kogi has shown that this is possible even when it is most difficult. It is within this atmosphere of stability that we welcome a new chapter in the political life of Kogi State. Today, at this formal reception, His Excellency former Governor Idris Wada joins the All Progressive Congress along with other distinguished leaders and supporters. This decision is not a small one. It is an alignment with a broader national vision. It is a recognition that Nigeria needs large and stable platforms to confront the challenge before us. Your Excellency Governor Idris Wada, as we welcome you and other distinguished Nigerians to the APC, I must share that we receive you as an elder, as a statesman, and as a partner in the task of building a stronger Kogi and a stronger Nigeria. This moment, Don Allah, ku yi hakuri mana, ku yi hakuri mana, ku yi hakuri mana, ku yi hakuri mana. Listen. Why are you doing? What is this? This is turbulent. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this moment also reflects the leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCR. He promised to build a political home that brings together progressive minds from across the country. He promised to make the APC a political party where competence is valued and where inclusion is not an empty phrase. He promised to make the APC a confluence of progressives. Today that promise is unfolding before our eyes. His leadership has inspired faith. His commitment to national unity has restored confidence in the political process. Nigerians from across the divides are choosing to work with him because they see sincerity and depth in his vision. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what is happening in Kogi today is not the collapse of one structure into another. It is not a victory of one ego over another. What we are witnessing is a margin of convictions. It is a recognition that Nigeria requires a broad coalition of patriots who are looking beyond all quarrels and embrace a collective future. The APC remains the home of all who seek progress. We must rise above bitterness and forge a new national spirit. To our new members, I say welcome. You have joined a family that thrives on service. You have joined a platform that values your experience. We shall deepen peace in Kogi State. We shall expand development in Kogi State. We shall uphold the promise of a renewed Nigeria. Because you have shown that when leaders choose peace, the people reap progress. The APC does not take your trust for granted. May God bless Kogi State. May God bless the All Progressives Congress. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back from the live telecast. We'll now continue with our regular programs. Stay tuned.
I'm a real Nigerian, born Nigerian, a resilient Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, accountable Nigerian, a caring Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, born Nigerian, a resilient Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, accountable Nigerian, a caring Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real.
Hello, fellow Nigerians. I'm Larry Saunilu, the Director General of the National Orientation Agency. Our relatively short history since independence, remarkable achievements have unfolded. However, we can only acknowledge these successes if we choose to focus on the positive. Remember, you cannot see the light if you keep your eyes closed. Great things are happening to many Nigerians. Our country is a land of opportunities for those who are positive. At the National Orientation Agency, we are committed to highlighting the many uplifting stories under the Renewed Hope agenda. We invite you to listen to the testimonies of fellow Nigerians who are experiencing the positive impact of government initiatives and Nigerian environment. Nigeria is thriving for millions in extraordinary ways, but it requires a mindset of optimism and a heartfelt love for our country to truly appreciate this progress. Join us on this journey of growth. Our cup is half full, not half empty. Embrace positivity and be a proud Nigerian. I am a proud Nigerian.
My name is Hope Joshua. I am a beneficiary of Federal Mortgage Bank. I benefited from the Rent to Own program. I am very grateful to the federal government for the program. That's Federal Mortgage Bank, helping us to acquire a property that ordinarily wouldn't have afforded. As a civil servant, it's very, very, very hard to gather money to build a house. But to God be the glory. Through the help of Federal Mortgage Bank, I am a 2-bedroom flat owner. And as it is now, I don't have to bother myself about gathering money to build a house. I already have a comfortable 2-bedroom flat, which I'll be paying gradually, before I finish or before I retire. I'll be a house owner of my own. My advice to fellow civil servants and Nigerians is, don't just conclude that nothing is working in Nigeria. At least, when you hear people talking about mortgage bank, applying for this one, go and apply. Don't just assume that, okay, even if you apply, you're not going to get it. As I am now, I don't even have any godfather. But I applied. When I heard about the mortgage offer, I applied, filled the form, and then I submitted. And lo and behold, they gave me the offer, and now I am a proud owner of 2-bedroom flats. So don't just give up on our current government. They are doing their best to put shelter on our head. Nigeria has happened to me positively because right now I am a proud owner of 2-bedroom flats. So Nigeria has happened to me positively. And right now I am saying thank you to Federal Mortgage Bank. Thank you to the Federal Republic of Nigeria for bringing such a wonderful program to help the citizens of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Powered by National Orientation Agency.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news. Tonight, we're opening with a dramatic shake-up inside the People's Democratic Party at this weekend's national convention in Ibadan. PDP delegates passed a sweeping motion to expel several high-profile members, including ASM Wike, the FCT minister, former Ekiti State Governor of Ayoshe, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, the party's suspended national secretary, and others. The PDP says these expulsions were for anti-party activities and for causing disunity through litigation. At the same time, they dissolved party structures in several states, including Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Imo, and a couple of others, signaling what many say is a bold and controversial move to reset internal power centers. But what was supposed to be a high-stakes gathering to elect new party leadership turned into a courtroom flashpoint. That's because 3 different courts issued contradictory rulings. Some stopped the convention altogether, while another allowed it to proceed. One Abuja court halted INEC from monitoring or recognizing the outcome, saying the PDP had failed to follow due process. Then, in a separate case, we saw Justice Peter Lifu of another Abuja High Court barring the convention unless Sule Lamido, a former governor, was allowed to buy a nomination form for national chairman. Yet in Ibadan, few hours to that exercise, and Oyo State High Court gave the PDP a green light again to go ahead, ordering INEC to attend, monitor, and observe. So to help us make sense of this legal and political moment, what it means for internal party democracy, the rule of law, and PDP's future, I'm joined by political analyst and legal practitioner Liberus Oshoma, who joins me live from our Abuja studio. Mr. Oshoma, thank you for joining us again on Beyond the Headlines. Very interesting development we're following here. As mentioned, we had conflicting rulings and Oyo State High Court allowing the convention, ordering INEC to monitor, versus a federal High Court restraining INEC because of Lamido's exclusion. How do such conflicting court orders happen, and which is likely to prevail in practice?
Yeah, Defemi, thank you, and thank you to our viewers. And it is sad that once again, PDP, a party that was formed sometimes in August 1998, with various associations and organizations, political parties coming together, sheathed their sword, and decided to come together to pursue an agenda for a better Nigeria. We're represented by about 34 members. You have the Bamanga Tukos, the Tony Aneni, even including the Sule Lamido that you mentioned, late Sunday Awoni, Solomon La and Co, Alex Ekweme, coming together to bet what is today known as PDP. But unfortunately, typical of Nigerian politicians, will find out that their exit from power had consistently, created problems for them. Thanks to also the flip-flop and the ping-pong rulings that we had seen. It's almost, somebody described it as acquired rulings from the judiciary, but I wouldn't want to use such words. We saw this in 2015, immediately after their exit from office. It was as if the PDP never prepared for life outside office. When you had Abuja High Court and the same week, Port Harcourt High Court, today Abuja will give judgment in favor of the Modu Sharif faction, and then tomorrow another court will give judgment in favor of the McAfee-led faction until the McAfee-led faction prevail at the Supreme Court. And today, if you remember, was it Shegu Adeniyi, former spokesperson of the president of Nigeria, Shehu Musa Yar'Adua, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, did in his book made mention of the 1992 presidential election where governors were in Abuja. The moment Justice Ikpeme gave that order, other governors were calling. Remember them, you had governors who were already sworn in, and then you had a military ruler at IBB. And so all of those governors were calling their state chief judges to also give counter orders, calling the attorney generals to go file motion. So what the picture he was trying to paint then was that some of these orders can be procured. So in the same vein, today we see 4 cases altogether. You had 3 FCT, and then the Oyo State where the convention was to hold. I would have been shocked if a high court in Oyo would not give a judgment. And typical, that one came last. It came on Friday, and then the convention held on Saturday. So you would say when the equities are equal. Here, what you have is that when judgments are given, you say the last in time. Unlike when the equities are equal, you say the first in time. So you would say the last judgment gave them the go-ahead. Whether, considering the status of the other 3 ruling by the same court of coordinate jurisdiction, whether this action will be sustained beyond this is another different ballgame, which I wouldn't want to go into. If you remember also, this was the challenge that the APC had in Rivers State in 2015 or 2019, when a court did ask them not to conduct, primaries until congresses were concluded and people who had applied to buy forms were allowed to purchase forms. At the end of the day, the court heard that failure to allow them to purchase, forms was excluding them from the process. And that's also led to the nullification of everything that had been done at those convention and primaries.
Yeah.
So also, lastly on this, there's this back and forth argument. A lot of people had argued that the Supreme Court had consistently held that the court should not interfere in parties' internal mechanism. No, the court had consistently held that the Supreme Court had held that the courts cannot impose, cannot appoint leaders for political parties. But in places where the constitution of the party spells out the steps, preemptive steps that should be taken before certain actions are conducted, the court had, not shied away in rising to the occasion to interpret, such steps and nullify, decisions taken when such steps are not, taken. Those preemptive steps are not taken. So in this case, I would say that the judgment in the ruling on Friday allowed the PDP convention. And so far, you can say that judgment subsisting. The convention is legal until, other judgments of the courts other decisions of the court would come up. Let's see what the Court of Appeal will say in all of that, and then eventually the Supreme Court. But I hate to say, this might be the beginning of the end of PDP.
I've also heard other people say that Sule Lamido's court case appears to be central to all of this. He's argued that he was denied a nomination form, and then Justice Lifu ruled in his favor, restraining INEC. What, in your opinion, are the implications of that for the legitimacy of the convention, especially with INEC's presence or absence at that convention?
You see, let's even take out INEC presence or absence in this case. Let's, like I referred to the case in Rivers State where I think it was Godwin Abe's supporter who approached the court against the APC then when Wike was governor in Rivers State for refusal to allow them purchase nomination, or that they purchased nomination but they were excluded from the primary process. So in the same vein here, and which was why the courts had their head. Mind you, before Lamido's case, the argument was that failure to hold world congresses in Anambra and there have been, I think, a few other states in the Southwest was fatal to any congress, any convention that the PDP would hold, that all states, world and state congresses must be concluded before the convention can be held. That was the first judgment. And then Sule Lamido had signified his intention to purchase a form because the party had agreed on a consensus candidate. And Sule Lamido said he disagreed and that he had signified his intention to purchase a form, and he was refused. And so he approached the Federal High Court in Abuja. Justice Lifu did rule that he cannot be excluded from the process. Excluding him from the process and going ahead with it was a nullity. And the argument, like what we later saw, the intention was that, well, let's shut out Sule Lamido from the process and then go ahead, and then you can always go back to the court and say the horse has bolted. But the issue is there was a subsisting court order restraining the convention from going ahead on the ground of Sule Lamido's complaints. So whether the court in Oyo had also asked them to go ahead with the convention is a different matter altogether. It does not preclude Sule Lamido from continuing or concluding his case. And that's Sule Lamido's case, like I said, because he also was not suspended. Because the argument in most cases can be that once you are suspended from a political party, you no longer have the locus to challenge decisions of the party. So, but in the case of Sule Lamido, he is not suspended from the party. He remains a member of the party, even though he feels, bad, according to him, that he never imagined that the day will come when he will have to be suing PDP and requesting that the convention should not hold. But be that as it may, he's still a member of the party, and if he's not placated and he takes his matter to the highest level, that might affect whatever convention that had been held. And that's the court might eventually hold that PDP ought to obey a court order, no matter how no matter how they see the court order. I don't want to use the word that is coming to mind.
I hear you. Some political side talks say, Sulu Lamido's presence at one ADC meeting was the reason why they probably blocked him from getting the nomination form. But I want you to hear what the Adamawa state governor said at the ground of that convention, which brings to mind again precisely the position of the Electoral Act as to the presence or absence of INEC at such convention and what it means for its legality. Here's exactly what he said.
What we need is entrenched unity of purpose and better resolve and courage to soldier on beyond the election of our national officers. In the absence of INEC and as contend with merits of litigation for and against this convention, as the chairman, LCOC, it is not within my prerogative to go on with this exercise. It is for the delegates to decide. Thank you and God bless.
You heard him citing the multiplicity of litigations and indeed the absence of INEC as a reason why he wouldn't continue with that exercise. Some notable absence would also include the Rivers State governor and the governor of Plateau State, Governor Mutfwang. Both of them, Governor Fintiri and Mutfwang, have now reacted publicly, saying that they do not support the expulsion of those senior officers. But what is the position of the law? Because as some have said, INEC's absence means that what Sheyi Makinde had in Ibadan was just a gathering of friends. How do you react to that?
Defemi, like I said, what I just hope and I pray that this does not signal the beginning of the end of PDP. A political party is a political party. It's not a political party until it is recognized by INEC and it is allowed to feed candidates by INEC. And that's why you find out that most times they always pander to the body language of INEC until INEC recognize, if you have factions in any political party, there's the tendency to always wait for INEC to issue a statement declaring which side they recognize. Before now, it was the prerogative of INEC to not just monitor, but to announce elected officials until the court judgment in Ganifa Emi's case that said INEC's responsibility is just to monitor and not participate. So if you're holding a convention and INEC is clearly absent in your convention, what it means, like some persons have said, considering the fact that there were court judgment, what it means is that truly it might end up as a gathering of just friends, or like some people describe it as a jamboree. But, like I said, we'll wait to see if truly what the court will say. If the court, Justice Omotosho, Justice Lifo, and the court in Oyo, if what the Court of Appeal will say thereof, and what the Supreme Court will subsequently say. But I can tell you, sitting here, that the failure of INEC to monitor that process is fatal. It's fatal to the outcome at the end of the day. And we have seen it before. And that's why I am saying that I just hope that this is not the beginning of the end for the PDP. But one would expect ordinarily that INEC would not wait for the political parties to go to court to litigate before giving direction. I also blame INEC here because I would have expected that INEC would sit down. Once there are issues like this, INEC as a regulator should be able to sit down and spell out the guidelines for the political parties and what must be done, and not to wait for litigation and then you have to begin to wait for which judgment would come and which judgment wouldn't come. INEC failed in that responsibility because as a regulator, what's your responsibility? You wait, you fold your hands, the two warring factions are fighting, you have not said anything, you say, oh, go to court, and when the court rules, and that's what I will be. That's not the job of a regulator. The job of a regulator is to sit down, spell out the guideline that must be followed, and that must be strictly followed. And the failure to follow those guidelines, that way, INEC had declared a position ab initio. and everybody will fall into line. That will save all of this multiplicity of court action because the rules are clearly stated. But in a situation where INEC is waiting for the court to tell them what to do or what not to do, it also will not encourage, the deepening our political democracy.
Shuma, it may not be that simple for INEC because as we speak right now, the PDP faction that held the convention in Ibadan do not even have access to the national headquarters of the party in Abuja. Will INEC tell Wike and his people to vacate the national headquarters? You don't think that perhaps it's a court that can decide who truly is in charge where PDP is concerned as we speak?
No. In this case, first and foremost, when INEC asks to vacate, INEC will spell out the clear guidelines that must be followed before a national convention, even if they are stated in the constitution and everybody knows what is INEC's position as regards the conduct of a national convention. Some persons are saying that ward and state primaries, congresses were not held in some states. What is INEC's position? Some of us who are knowledgeable and who have been following these things know. But how many people know? As INEC come out with a paper to say for Congress to be conducted or for convention to be held by any political party, these are the guidelines according to the rules of the political party. But in this case, I guess they also would not want to make such statements because they wouldn't want to shoot themselves in the foot, because if you bring out clear guidelines and another political party that you are leaning favorably, you are disposed to, also now flouts those guidelines, and then you do not say anything, then INEC becomes partisan. In this case, I think that even because what had happened clearly also has shown that there is a deep divide in PDP, that there is no way the court would not have stepped in. But for going ahead to conduct a convention, we won't be having this discussion if the INEC had clearly stated that, well, these are the guidelines. No matter what the court says, these are the guidelines that must be followed. And let us
talk about the expulsions for a minute. Wike, Fayose, Anyawu, quite a number of others expelled for anti-party activities. You know, some have said that perhaps it is coming too late, you know, depending on what your definition of anti-party is. Would you say that the timing, was it a function of what was done or the timing of it politically for the PDP?
I think that the expulsion of people like Wike and co from the party, you know, was long overdue. Some persons that were expelled from this party didn't do half of what Wike had done. You remember when Oshomole was suspended from his ward when he was national chairman of APC, and, you know, he wasn't up to this. But Wike had consistently played anti-party activities, had been the bone in the neck of his own political party, and yet he remains there. But even the way they had gone about it also clearly is wrong. I would have expected that they would go about this clearly, so as not to give the man Wike, you know, a last laugh. But the way they had gone about it, it is obvious that it's a non-starter, because you are holding a convention that you have 4 judgments and 3 of the judgments are against you, and you went ahead to hold that convention. INEC is not there. It is in that convention that you are. I also would have expected that the expulsion should come from the ward level, where also at the end of the day, the Congress will what do you call it now, adopt what they had done at the ward level. But it is difficult for any ward chairman in Rivers State to say they want to expel Wike from the party. So that's why one would, they had to do it, you know, at the national level, you know. But I think, like I said, really, some of these persons, they played anti-party activities enough in the party that if that party was truly up and doing, they have no business in the PDP.
Linked to that, however, is also, well, when you say they have no business, it's also a function of who runs the party, who has the real political clout, who has been winning elections. You know, I heard Wike say the other time that these delegates were even talking about what is the PDP might in Lagos, you know, who has really won election for the PDP in the past, 4 or 8 years. But we also saw at the PDP convention that the party structures in certain states were dissolved in states like Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Enugu,